Welcome to this Windows and Computer channel, and this is the Tech News Update. We are Friday, February 22nd, 2019, and today in our Tech News Update, well, we have Google developers that will have to follow stricter rules regarding security of their apps. They are asking developers now to target API level 28, which is the security that is in Android 9 Pie. That is, of course, something that they want to make sure that apps are as safe as possible. And also, the updates will be forced to have level 28 also. If you use, or if there are devices that have Chinese app stores, they will have to target level 26, as more and more of the apps that have malware are in lower levels. And often apps with Chinese App Store are at level 22, which is unsafe, basically. So this is, of course, coming later this year, and that means that, with the fact that they want now apps to have 64-bit versions, things are going to be more secure on the Google Play Store. Microsoft has a code name for what is Windows Lite that we're not really sure exactly what it's going to be like. Project Santorini is apparently the code name, and it would seem that there would be some devices, some Internet of Things devices that could run this later this year. Apple is expected to ditch Intel chips next year. In 2020, it seems that the first wave of Mac PCs will run ARM sometimes in 2020, ending the era of Intel computers for Mac PCs. And of course, this is following the fact that for years, Mac had used PowerPC chips many years ago. So they're moving on, and they're probably looking at ARM for one other reason. First of all, not just because they're kind of a little mad at Intel, because there's always these fights between companies, but the fact that ARM probably promises even better battery life for their Mac PCs. As Samsung unveiled the Galaxy Fold this week, many analysts are saying that this is actually the first in a wave of all sorts of devices coming with flexible or foldable screens. And one of the things that they are looking for, the next wave of laptops and tablets that might actually have the technology with foldable screens on them. YouTube, of course, this week is kind of in hot water over child exploitation videos of all sorts, and comments that are really not very, very cool. And of course, they've been losing some ad revenue because many companies decided, hey, we don't want to be there. Disney, Nestle, for example, have decided, okay, let's pull. AT&T also said they're pulling ads, and of course, one of the things that we got to check is that compared to the last time there was a controversy, at least YouTube right now is taking steps to reduce and eliminate the problem as fast as they can. Also, it would seem that YouTube might ask its creators to monitor more closely what type of comments are on their channels. Drupal, if you are using this to run your website, Drupal is a content management system, you might be at risk for, and at very high risk for remote code execution acts on your website. If you don't update right now, this is what could happen. Drupal says to update to the latest system as it fixes this issue, but apparently it's a very bad security flaw that was discovered. So if you use this content management system, update your system. Well, the majority of the European governments have approved the controversial copyright law, the one that is making big waves right now because it has that Article 13, which is making and wondering what exactly is going to happen with online content. It now has to pass the European Parliament sometime in March or April of this year. So we'll see what happens with that, and it's going to be interesting to see with websites, for example, with services like YouTube. What will this do to content creators? Well, many, of course, as the United States is pushing and trying to have many countries around the world reject Huawei devices and hardware, Well, after the UK this week that said that, well, we might not ban Huawei because it's manageable and we don't think that it's that bad. Germany also says there's no reason to ban the company. And Germany, of course, what's happening here, which is the biggest problem, is that Huawei is a major player in 5G networks. So what exactly will happen and how will this change? Probably there's a lot of talks going on with Huawei to maybe change the way things are done. And finally, experts say that smartphone makers don't understand that they are actually creating these sluggish phone sales. They say that when they look at the latest phones, flagship phones from Apple, from Samsung, it's actually very easy to see that the only thing hurting smartphone sales right now is the high profit margin and the high price of these devices. They're too expensive for most people, and they say that they're simply pushing themselves out of the market just because they're charging way too much of a price for the flagship phones. And this was the Tech News Update for February 22nd, 2019, this Friday. If you enjoy our videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.